Alright, Lantis, so today we are jumping back into this month's SENKAIMON quest, and there's only 3 days left to go, so if you haven't already gone ahead and cleared them, I'd recommend to do so, because otherwise you are going to miss out on SENKAIMON medals and also spirit orbs. But with these quests leaving in 2 days' time, we also should then get access to Affiliation 2, where we are then going to have access to the Aaroniero quest, No Affiliation quest, Holo quest, and also Human quests. Before these do leave though, I do want to finish up beating all SENKAIMON quests only using resurrectable characters. If you missed our previous video, we did tackle the Quincy SENKAIMON stage, where we were able to use 3 SENKAIMON characters and beat it with relative ease. The MVP personally being Misaki. If I didn't have her, it almost would have been impossible. But for today's video, we're going to focus on the Captain Squad 0 SENKAIMON stage. Can we beat it only using resurrectable characters? Let's find out. But for today's video, we're going to focus on clearing the Captain and Squad 0 SENKAIMON quest once more only using resurrectable characters. Is it going to be possible? Let's find out. So first up for Stage 1, Mission 1, the easiest quest of the entire video. We're going to use a somewhat more recent unit. This Toshiro only recently resurrected. Now remember, in the SENKAIMON stage, we don't get any damage bonuses. So if we can get the killer advantage, that is going to help us out, especially when using characters that are at this point 4 years old. Maybe even older depending on the character that we are using. Now even though Toshiro is a somewhat old character, let me turn off Autumn. He is one of the more recent resurrectable characters, but the thing is, as you saw previously, I only have the character special level 2. And at that point, he only has SP level 10. So some of the other characters that we're going to say for the later stages will be max transcended. And when you are using old characters like this, the bare minimum for new characters is level 20 link shots, probably SP level 10 as well. So when it comes to old characters that are lacking on that damage output compared to newer units, you know, you do have to maybe resurrect them. I don't think we're going to use a single character that isn't max transcended in the later stages, but that really depends on how good the character is, or maybe what the damage bonuses that we do get in certain stages. Now, Toshiro's going through this stage relatively fine, despite me messing up at the start when I had auto turned on. Right now, the kill advantage definitely is helping us get that extra 20%. The technique enemies are slowing us down a tad bit, but we do have 2 minutes to go, so we have 1 more minute to go. And that's all we're using Toshiro right now. Maybe if I had him at max transcended, I'd want to save him for a later stage, but we have other good characters too. The main thing that's carrying us here in these towers are really 1000-year Blood War units. Ones that came out 4 to 5 years ago and only maybe recently resurrected. They're going to be really good characters because 1000-year Blood War units do get better resurrections in terms of damage output. Some even get the spiritual pressure boost. Let me use the Storm now and then back up. Not get hit by the Storm, lovely. And yeah, those 1000-year Blood War units are characters that I pulled for a lot. So a lot of the characters I'm using are like max transcended, and I've already max transcended them before this video just for the purpose of them becoming good links. So the fact that I get to take them into this quest to get a bit more usage out of those units and not even need to transcend them for these quests is actually kind of cool. So Stage 1, Mission 1, done in under 2 minutes. Toshiro is now sealed. And like I said, next up we have a character that I went ahead and max transcended, more so just because it's Bankai Shinsui. He's such a cool unit. And I was there when he released, right? He was the second 1000-year Blood character I ever pulled on my account. This stage though is melee damage ×2, so this is going to help out Shinsui quite a bit. We do only want to use 2 accessories, however. And in terms of transcendence, not the best transcendence since he does have an extra 1000 focus, but that still increases our damage output nonetheless. And you know what, since we're on the topic, right, Shinsui is a character that I know a lot of us are looking forward to because it's one of the highlights in Season 3 of 1000-year Blood War and a potential candidate for the upcoming 10th anniversary, right? This is a character that they're definitely not going to release outside of a big celebration, kind of similar to Rukia, Renji, and also Byakuya from Season 2. While Rukia didn't turn out the way we wanted her to turn out, they did release her during, you know, the anime comeback celebration. So I'm feeling like this character has to release during anniversary, end of year, or maybe a Season 4 premiere banner, if that releases near the start of next year. He's definitely going to be someone that is on the top of everyone's radar when it comes to upcoming Season 3 units, right? And this character was super fun on release too. Even nowadays, it's kind of nostalgic using this character because he used to be one of those characters that I used to cheese some of those earlier stages, because the way this character works, right, is that his SA2 does push back quite a bit, and in that case it doesn't do damage, but if you can get them in the corner, it can do quite a bit of damage. Also, most importantly, when we have a 90-second countdown, we can just use the Soul Bomb and potentially apply instant kill. It has like a 5% chance, I believe, per hit. So whenever you are super tight on time, if you are using a character that has instant kill, all you need to do is get into that final room with like 1 second to spare and just keep resetting the app until you activate the instant kill. In our case though, we could have cleared a lot faster. I was yapping on, but Shunsui takes down Dark Rukia. The 2x melee damage is definitely helping out here, and Shunsui was able to clear in under 1 minute and 30 seconds, so this character is now once more sealed. Continuing on with the 1000-year Blood War head captain characters, next up we have Bankai Yamamoto. You'll see here that his 6 slot isn't really that good, so for the most part he's basically 2 out of 5, right? Unless I'm using my normal attacks. We do, however, only want to use 1 accessory, so I am opting to use the Lieutenant's Badge at 5-star plus. Yama is a melee character with also no affiliation killers, so he's the perfect character right now to use in mission set 3. And kind of similar to Shunsui, right? This is a character that personally is at the top of my list for an upcoming remake, because it's kind of funny that even though we're about to get season 3 characters, like right now we're talking about the possibility of getting a Bankai Shunsui, and we've yet to get a Bankai Yama, right? At least with the anime visuals. We did get the past version during the 8th anniversary, and that's the reason why we aren't like in a massive rush to get a Bankai Yama. But considering what K-Lab did with the Fullbring Bankai Ichigo release, right? You know, they delayed him in a way for like a year and a half, releasing him at the most recent end of year banner. But man, was that an exciting reveal. And I'm really hoping that's what they're going to do with this Yama. They're saving him for a rainy day. They're going to release him in a hype banner. You can almost guarantee it. But the big question is, who is he going to release with? I'm honestly all for a double head captain banner. You know, a banner with this character and also Shunsui would be really cool to see. Either way though, Yama made quick work of this stage, clearing in under 1 minute, 35 seconds to be exact. Next up for mission set 2, we're going to go ahead and use Spirit Side to Byakuya. The enemies themselves are Soripers, so that's going to be really beneficial for a character like Byakuya, who does have Soriper Killer. Fortunately for us, since we are going against 10 years later Ichigo, this character will not at any point use a Soul Bomb. The unfortunate thing though is, and that's why we're using him right now, is that I've actually not worked on this Byakuya. He's SP level 1, but thanks to our accessories and also links, we should still hopefully clear in under 2 minutes. And you know, I could go ahead and just transcend him for the sake of the video right now, but honestly, I don't want to use the Essence Scroll on a character that I'm only going to use right now. Maybe if I had him max transcended or close to 5-5, I would do it for a decent link, but even as a link, he's not that great, you know? Now, with that said, little backstory with this character. This was the first character that essentially started the God Kit meta that we're currently still in right now, although it is kind of less likely to be seen. Essentially, back when this character came out, every character had the same set of skills. Like, every character's damage output was almost similar. They only had Frenzy 1 and maybe Berserker at 20%. And with that, there was more of a focus on having good strong attacks. And this Byakuya basically started the trend of having a Beam SA1 into a Distant AoE SA2 into a full screen SA3, which, funny enough, is the exact kit that this really good unit at the time, Ichigo, does have. So let's go and use our Soul Bomb. And somehow I just cancelled my SA3 by walking forward. Okay. That's kind of annoying. Let's make sure we don't get poisoned, because we don't want to lose any, you know, stamina here. So again, we don't have to worry about Ichigo using his Soul Bomb. And we have 50 seconds to go, so ever so slowly, we are going to defeat this Ichigo. And that's why we're using him right now. I guess you could get a use out of this character in a later stage, but since I haven't worked on him in terms of Transcendence, we're just going to go ahead and use him right now on mission set 1. Overall, pretty cool character, cleared in 1 minute and 60 seconds. Next stage wants us to clear it in 90 seconds, but only using 2 character links, so it's going to get a tad bit awkward at this point. And the damage rolls that we are getting it, unfortunately, aren't going to us, it's going to the enemies. Tendril, however, did receive a pretty decent resurrection, so his damage output is higher. And in my case, I have an SP level 10, Focus level 10, with some pretty good accessories and links, so we should be fine to clear in under 90 seconds. Especially because, too, we also do have... Oh, I kind of forgot how this character plays. I'm kind of thinking of the previous, or the new one that we just got. Granted, that was like months ago, but still. I have not played this character in quite some time, but this first room is very short in terms of, or small, in how many enemies actually show up. So that's actually quite beneficial for us. But this character's SO3 is still really fun to use. And the SO3 we don't see put on too many characters, to be fair, nowadays. Most just get full screens. I mean, this SO3 has always been kind of a rarity. But I would love to see like an anniversary character get that SO3, because it's an AoE in front of them, and it just has way better range. So there we go. 40 seconds in, already going into the final boss against Ichigo, who is once more another sword bar. Let's use the Soul Bomb, paralyze for, I believe, 8 seconds. Let off all our normal attacks and strong attacks. And then just back up. Let's just make sure we don't get poisoned, right? And at no point do we have to worry about Ichigo using a Soul Bomb, or at this point, even attacking us. So Caleb made it quite easy by putting a character like Ichigo as a boss, because he would just never use a Soul Bomb since he does have instant kill built in. It's kind of a funny thing that Caleb do during SENKAIMON quests. They just never use a Soul Bomb if they have instant kill. And I think it's also the same for characters that have healing on their Soul Bomb too. Either way though, Tanjiro is sealed. Now we're moving on to maybe one of the more difficult ones, Stage 2, Mission Set 3. Because this time around, we only want to bring one Link, and the enemies themselves also have double the stamina. So with that in mind, I am opting to use 5th Anniversary Byakuya with 1000 additional focus. That way our normal attacks and strong attacks can also do damage. And yeah, the hope here is that we can just clear in under 1 minute. So our SA2 is definitely going to be doing some carrying here, because we can group all the enemies up and then use our normal attack. Let's SA3, don't get poisoned. Never mind, we actually are immune to every statism, and that was one of the buffs that he picked up during his resurrection. And then let's use the SA2. Again, quite fortunate for us that the first stage is actually relatively easy with the amount of enemies that do appear. This part is a tad bit awkward since all the enemies are too spread apart, so we're going to use our SO3 to group them up. Push them up with the 1 and then kill with the 2. Group everyone up again. We have 26 seconds to go. This is the final stage. There's quite a few power enemies too. Fortunately, no more technique enemies in sight. And then we'll just use our 2 into the 1. Going into the final boss with 14 seconds to spare. We do have our Soul Bomb, so we should be fine, right? So Soul Bomb does pretty good amount of damage since we are max transcended. And at this point, all we got to do is wait for our strong attack 2 to come back in this corner. And then finish up. There we go. Byakuya coming through all these years later, helping us clear Stage 2, Mission 3 in under 1 minute. It was a close one though, to be fair. 6 seconds to go. So going into Stage 3, Mission Set 1, we are once more using another Bankai Yamamoto. Is this one max transcended? For the most part it is. The most important stats are leveled up, focus, and also spiritual pressure. In this case, we only have to use 2 links, so not too bad. And there are also hollow enemies here too, so we are getting 20% more damage. And again, going back to what I said with Byakuya, right? How he kickstarted the God Kit. This Yama basically has the exact same strong attack here. It's something that a lot of like very powerful characters and hype characters of that time also had. Just the beam into a distant AoE into a 4-screen. And you know, nowadays, no one would even complain about having a moveset like that because it is actually very fun. Just a lot of range on a unit, you know? Now, in this case, we gotta be careful with the burn. I think we can get burned, right? I think we can. I don't want to risk it, though. I don't want to take any damage because if we get hit once, it's basically over. At least from those traps, you know? Because we do need to stay above a certain stamina threshold. Alright, one more wave to go. Not once did we get hit by the traps. Lovely. SA2 here. Did get burnt too. You'll have to see it. And then finish up with the 3. There we go. Now, these are one of those stages too that's going to get more difficult as we progress, since we have to use less links. Now, with Byakuya, we were able to use 1 character link, but I think for Stage 3, we have to use 0 character links, and we're probably going to have to rely on a normal attack damage character. Let's make sure that... Oh, hold on. We're still good. We took some damage there, but fortunately, thanks to the Vortex effect that this character does have, we were able to keep the enemy in place despite us not having any crowd control. Status element at the very least. We cleared in 1 minute. Honestly, we probably could have saved this character for Mission Set 2, but he was able to get the job done nonetheless, and I'm pretty sure we have some other good characters to use anyway. And yeah, we're kind of using his upgrade to a certain extent. We have Ishin in this case, a very similar character, almost the exact same strong attack kit, right? In his case, though, another speed holo killer. That was kind of an unfortunate trend that we kept seeing around this character's release. The Ishin is more worked on. He's more max transcended compared to Yama, where the only difference, to be fair, is the level 10 attack stat that I've leveled up. But we do have killer effect times 5, only 1 character link. Hopefully we can beat in under 90 seconds. Alright, here we go. What's the damage numbers looking like? Very good. A bit better than Yama in this case, but we do have that killer advantage status buff that it's giving us. And I believe Ishin is another character. I'm not going to risk it. There's a lot of characters like this that you would expect to be immune to a status element, and they just aren't. So let's actually go all the way up here and just destroy this, because I do not want to get hit by any of these traps. Takes quite a few hits, to be fair. I'm pretty sure this character can be inflicted with weakening. Can we use the SA1 there like that? Okay, that's pretty good. Does some pretty good damage. And then we just have 1 more strong attack to go. There we go. So we have 22 seconds. 20 seconds left to go, and we should be able to just kill with the Soul Bomb, right? I'm going to wait. Oh, let's not take any damage there. SA1. Soul Bomb. We're going to have to dodge. We dodged it, lovely. And then finish up with the SA2. Fortunately, as I've been playing this game for quite some time, I've kind of mastered flash stepping through the soul bombs. It gets easier over time, and it does very much help out in situations like this. And having long stride, in my opinion, is always recommended because it does make it easier. So there we go. We only have one more quest to go. Ishin taking down mission set 2. And going into mission set 3, this quest is almost set up for a character like Uetsu. I mean, to be fair, you could probably use any normal attack damage character that has Holo Killer, but any SENKAIMON stage that wants us to bring 0 character links, you will much more beneficial bringing normal attack damage characters, as they have no cooldown on their normal attacks. So they aren't hurt as much compared to a Spillage Pressure unit that will have to wait 20 plus seconds just to deal some decent damage. And when you only have 60 seconds, normal attack damage characters like this start to shine a lot more. Plus, it also helps out that we get normal attack damage times 2, making this stage a lot easier than it actually should be. And once more, Uetsu is one of those characters that I just have worked on already because he was such a cool character on release. So we don't even need to use our SA2. I guess we could save that for the boss for crowd control. But again, even better for Uetsu, right? If we use the SA2 now, actually, again, all you have to do is get into that final stage with 1 second remaining. If you do that, you can just keep resetting until the Soul Bomb instant kills the final boss, you know? Let's just make sure to not get burned here. So go down slowly. There we go. We took... No. Did we take hit? No, we didn't. I thought we took some damage there. Okay, let's get down here. Use our normal attack, or SA1, just to push back the enemies. We have 21 seconds to go. Just use our normal attacks and flash step not to knock back the enemies. And then going into Aizen. Can we actually get the instant kill? Let's find out. Here we go. No instant kill, unfortunately, but this is where we have the Vortex. Keep the enemy in place. We get the extra stats, and we also take down Aizen. So going into the final stage, we have 2 options. Use the SA2 to keep the enemy in place, or just use your Soul Bomb and hopefully get the instant kill. Either way, with that though, that is now 2 out of 3 SENKAIMON stages beaten only using resurrectable characters. I think the Quincy one definitely is a bit more of a struggle because it is super old characters, but then again, every character is also super old. But when it comes to the Captain Squad 01, you have significantly more options. Even though we used these 9 characters today, you can probably get away using 9 completely other characters. I'd say stage 3, mission set 3 would be a bit more difficult if you do not own a character like Uetsu, or just any good normal attack damage character. But with that done, that means all that we have left right now is to beat the SENKAIMON quest for Soul Reapers, which definitely is going to be our biggest struggle, since stage 3, mission set 3, is quite the difficult challenge to beat in under 1 minute. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care, and peace.